Yeah, it's fine.
Call to order. Adoption of agenda.
I move that we adopt the agenda.
Can I get a
I'll
second?
second.
All in favor? Adoption of minutes.
The council adopted, wait a minute, where are we here?
3,
Yeah,
number 3.
adopt the agenda, it says.
Adopt the minutes, sorry.
It should say the minutes, right?
Yeah.
Council adopted minutes in the regular council meeting held on September 19, 2018.
I'll second.
All in favor? Introducing late items. Public hearing, none. Delegations, none. Unfinished business, business arising from the minutes.
Your Worship, it just mentioned at the end of my report that Taylor actually won the solar thing. It's actually Hudson Hope. I'm not sure why I accidentally said Taylor or what, but in the minutes it states Taylor instead of Hudson Hope.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll make that
Do you
change.
want that change?
Yeah.
All in favor? Okay. Unfinished business, business arising from the minutes.
The council adopt policy 8.4 cannabis license support letter.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Chris?
Thank you. If anybody has any comments there, just for council information, the public consultation period was shortened from 4 weeks to 2 weeks for this draft of the policy. I did receive a call from Jordan Wall, CAO at Tumbler Ridge, who advised me that they had a license application that had come through the District of Tumbler. District of Tumbler issued a support letter and it went to the province. The province came back and then asked where the evidence of public support was, or public consultation, I should say, for that application. So he was actually calling to advise me that we put that in our policy, and I said, well, it's already there. So that looks like it's not only a step that we were hoping to undertake with it, it's a step that the province is going to require as well. I've actually seen Tumbler Ridge's notice posted on that, and I did reach out to the corporate officer at Tumbler Ridge for the template for that.
It's in the paper, Chris.
Yeah, we're going to use something similar.
So we can support this letter tonight?
Do they not have to have public consultation before?
This is the policy, not the letter yet. Oh. No, right now it says the letter.
The council adopt policy.
Oh, policy, sorry.
Cannabis license support letter.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, new business, 8.1 recommendation.
Council approved the Christmas holiday office closure for December 24, 27, 28, and 31, 2018 holiday season.
Can I get a seconder?
I'll second.
Any discussion? I thought you guys were working all through. Oh, what's this holiday stuff? No. I'm actually closed then too. All in favor? 8.2 recommendation.
Council approves setting the old-fashioned Santa Claus parade on Friday, November 23rd, 2018.
Can I get a seconder?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Better not snow that night. 8.3 recommendation B.
Question. Discuss that we,
You seconded?
I did. But
We're doing
nobody
Santa
read it
Claus
yet.
thing
No
still?
one read it
No one's
yet.
read it yet.
No, I haven't read it. You want to read it? Want me to read it?
That council discussed.
Recommendation 8.3, the council discuss which economic development projects, if any, will be included in the draft 2019-2023 financial plan and submitted to the PRD for funding support.
Second,
Any discussion?
yes.
Also,
Do we have, can we make those decisions before we do our 2019-2000 financial plan?
Chris?
Thank you, Your Worship. Theoretically, no, and I've had a conversation with the CFO over at the regional district about this as well. It's a little bit of a procedural gray area, I guess, if you will, where they're asking for these budget amounts or budget projects, but really we haven't gone through the proper budget process at the council level. So typically that doesn't start until January or February or so of any given year. So I understand that the PRRD is trying to do their budget timeline is a little bit shorter than ours, and it ends March 31st. So I've written the motion up for council to approve it in the draft plan. That way we have a further opportunity for discussion when our actual, budget discussions happen. But there's a lot of unknowns in these projects, and I definitely don't think it's procedurally correct for council to be, sort of adopting formally any of these projects right now, but they all have merit and are worthwhile discussing, so.
So should we just table this, Chris?
I think Lyle's still looking for a little bit of input. The skate park certainly is a given. I mean, we broke ground on it Friday last week, so that one's okay.
Water?
Yeah, the water fill station, the trails. I've got a little bit of an update on the trails in my CAO report. So it turns out that $100,000 amount might need an extra zero on it for the trails project.
Okay.
And then the field house was something you mentioned, Your Worship. So
Yeah.
we can approve these projects in principle and let the PRRD know that they'll form part of our budget discussions. But so if council's comfortable with them, I'll let them know that we think we're going to include them, but definitely not guaranteed or etched in stone in any way.
Sort of a wish list.
Our wish list.
Yeah.
Do you have a wish list for the regional district for economic development?
No.
You don't? We're on page 17. Andre?
Yeah, I do. I'd like to add the new library on there. That we would build a new library possibly with the help with the future regional district. Money-wise, Chris?
Yeah.
To add a new library, we haven't even discussed it at the council.
No, this is a wish list, so it's not
Yeah,
a,
it's just a wish list.
it's just a wish list.
Okay.
It's not,
Chris, before this gets sent into regional district, I'd like it brought back to council on the costs of how much a library would cost to build and to run.
Okay, that might be difficult, Your Worship. Lyle's original email was he wanted this stuff by October the 15th. I let him know that that's probably not going to happen. We've lengthened the time frame until sometime in December.
So then we'll do the library next year?
Yeah, potentially. It depends.
Okay, is that okay with you, Andre?
can we just put it in there and put an amount to it? I mean, it doesn't, to me, it doesn't look like the rest of these, there's just a fixed figure of amount for the field house. It's between $350 and $550
The field house is $15,000, Chris.
for us.
Yes, it's third. The federal government pays a third, the province pays a third, and then the regional district will pay some.
Okay.
And then we'll have to find money.
So I know the Peace River Regional District could help us. If you recall, when we had that meeting with the MLAs.
Yes.
Yeah, so basically, why don't we put a figure of $250,000 for the library
To build.
to build, yeah. Just as a
Are
figure,
you okay with that?
rather than just,
Okay, the thing is, if we put in 250,000, then we find out it's gonna cost 500,000. Well, I guess this is a wish list.
It's a
This
wish
is
list, that's all it is.
Yeah.
I just want to see it.
Something else for that too, folks. We have to ensure we're budgeting for the amounts that are actually going to flow through the general ledger accounts on both the expense and the revenue side. So, for example, if we're expecting that after all grants and everything are received, the library might cost us $250,000, but the village ends up writing checks for the cost of construction of $750. Even though that other 500 came by way of grant and it nets itself out, we do have to budget for the full amount.
A library wouldn't start to be built in 2019 anyway. We probably, if we were gonna go forward with it, it wouldn't be till 2020.
And that study on that field house, Chris, isn't even taken into consideration yet. It's gotta be brought back.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's it. I think part of the struggle with the request from the regional district is they're asking us to give them ideas, and we're so far ahead of really the discussions that need to happen.
I just think the water fill station, the trails, because that's what we have on the on-go right now, and there is, they are doing the studies on those.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree.
Andre?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch what you said
I
there.
said, are you okay with that?
And when,
Just-
you're
Just the stuff that we already have on the,
not gonna include the library, is what you're saying?
we're
Or
not
you will?
including the field house, we're not including the library.
Oh. Yeah,
Because
okay.
we don't have the money to build it. We won't have the budget for it. So all in favor? Okay.
Well, we can still discuss this, your worship, at a budget meeting, could we not?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I think when we get into our actual budgeting, probably, let's say, in January or February, we can definitely include line items for, you know, a study on a field house or a study on the library, some engineering costs, that kind of stuff, and then spread the project over a couple of years.
But we can do an application for the field house through NDIT.
Mhm.
We can resubmit an application for a sub-regional one, and they'll do the study. We'll get the money for the study.
Yeah,
And then the regional district will probably do the study, right? But we don't want the regional district bombarded with all the studies right now. They already got enough on the go. Okay.
Okay.
So anybody see anything here for correspondence? I'd like to thank Les and them for bringing all this information over to us for the museum. We highly recommend that. And then we've got a 9.2. Sorry.
Museum, I would really like to thank them for the report, but we're not asking to micromanage them. Like, you know, this is an awesome
They're coming in
report.
next meeting.
Exactly, but you know what I mean? It was an awesome report, but we're
That's
not,
not what we're asking for, I don't think.
yeah, it was a certain,
No,
like,
they were
we're
gonna be
micromanaging. And it's not, it's just, what are your troubles, what are your successes, you know?
Do you
what
need any help?
You
No, I
need
talked to
any help?
Les on the phone yesterday, and he is coming in for our next meeting. And
Well, I was
did
just gonna
explain.
say, this is just something, like, we kept the daily report, so this would be the day, you know, the daily report. You know, it would be a page every day of stuff that
Yeah,
we had done.
Yeah, and I didn't want them to feel that we were trying to micromanage
Yeah,
them.
no.
And this is an awesome report, it really
Yeah.
gives us, you know, what they've been up to,
Yeah,
but,
it's not what we need.
yeah.
We don't need that, we just need the minutes. Okay. So is that it?
Yes.
And we all agree to that, right? Okay. 9.2 recommendation?
The council received a referral of a non-medical cannabis retail store application, Delta Developments Limited, as information.
These are all correspondence, aren't they?
Chris?
Hello, Chris.
hello.
9.2.
The cannabis license?
Yeah.
So, I reached out to the province on this particular license application. And so the province shared with me their process for triaging the license application. And its license application is received by the applicant, of course. And then the first thing they look for is the accompanying letter of support from the municipality before they really go and evaluate any of the other criteria in depth. So this one's basically in suspense at the province, or at the provincial application stage. They're waiting on our letter of support before they'll take it to the next step and start really evaluating and working with the applicant for the rest of the criteria. Council just adopted the application policy, but like I shared with you guys, there's an absolute hard and fast rule that community consultation for each individual licensee has to take place. And when I looked at the Tumbler Ridge's public notice there, it specifically mentions the applicant name, the address, and then the period of consultation. So
So can we put that into the letter, Chris?
Yeah, if council's open to this application, I'd recommend putting a motion on the floor directing us to go ahead and undertake a 2-week public consultation period for, or it could be less, for this applicant, and then we can issue the letter of support at the next council meeting.
So,
Do we do the public consultation, or do they? They do.
so I'll put a motion on the floor to direct staff to do that.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Just a question, regards to look at the procedure of our, of what you brought up to us in regards to the cannabis license support letter. Do the other items are afterwards then? And I noticed it says, public consultation must be held for 2 weeks, and then a security plan for the location. Would that be before or after?
It's all included in the packet. Right, Chris?
Well, we haven't received that yet, I take it, from this Delta.
The security plans?
Yeah.
It's right here.
Oh, you have it? Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of that. And the plan, the hours. So we have everything else? All that's left is the consultation? That's what I'm asking.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm not sure, Your Worship, I have to review that paperwork when I get back.
You
to
have
the
it on
office
your
here.
phone.
Yeah, so, I know when I was drafting the language in the policy, I specifically used the language in province's application guidelines to make sure that what we were asking for largely mirrored what the province was asking for, to make it kind of easy for the applicants, and in that way, we're sort of prepping them for the more intense provincial application, saying, here guys, we're asking for this, the province is gonna ask you for it too. So if you don't want to bring it to us or can't for any reason,
Can we give them a support letter and just say that they have to do those things, all the conditions? And what was that, Sandy? If
By some chance the government pulls out before October. Now, if for some reason the government does not legalize it on October 17th, that it no longer applies.
Can we not do that?
Something to that wording.
Hello?
yeah, I'm not sure, because really if we say, here's a letter of support, province, and just pending all of this other stuff, really that letter of support is a glorified post-it note. The province is going to come back. The province isn't going to do anything with it until we provide them all the rest of the background information anyway. So I probably suggest that we do it up front and then submit the province a letter with all of our supporting documentation in the background. Keep in mind, council, the reason I structured this as a policy for you guys as opposed to a bylaw or anything like that, you can choose to waive, amend, modify anything you want to do with the language in this policy.
Yeah.
So if council is confident that, this is an outstanding business in town and you want to support them, you can direct us to undertake 1 week of public consultation if you feel that that's sufficient for this operation. Or you can waive any of the other items in there. It's completely at your discretion. We did it that way to give you guys some flexibility.
Mark.
I have a question. Is it kind of redundant that we give a letter of support before community consultation?
Yeah, I believe so, Councillor Smith. That's kind of what I'm saying. Because if we issue a letter of support to the province and say, we support this, but we're just going out to community consultations, province, don't worry, we'll let you know, they're not going to do anything with it until we've confirmed that consultation piece has wrapped up and is satisfactory to council.
What did you have to say, Sandy?
No, we're good. I realize they're in a hurry or they're trying to get this done, but I think,
Well, they're not gonna do any renovations, nothing until this letter of support, and they'll all be okays from the province.
yes, but I think it's a very important detail for
No,
us to
but
give a letter of
it's part of the
support before we see.
We did a consultation. We sent letters out.
But do we not
Is
have
that
to
our
do it?
consultation?
Well,
That was a consultation.
Tumbler Ridge is
No.
doing theirs as a notice in the paper.
No, that wouldn't qualify, your worship, because the consultation we did at council's request was, is the community comfortable with the language in the license application letter? The direction I received straight from the province was that we have to do a public consultation specific to each applicant, stating the address, business name, hours of operation, and other relevant information for the business, for the public to be able to respond back to us about that specific location.
So Chris, Sandy's gonna
Yeah.
correct you on this, because you didn't even see the mail out. You didn't see it.
This is the consultation that was done while you were on holidays.
when You were,
And the question on it was, are you opposed to having cannabis sales and growing or something,
Yeah,
cultivation in Poos Koopy?
Yeah,
That's what the question was.
That's not specific to this license applicant. That's a general question,
So it
and a
has to be
general
specific
community
to this.
consultation.
Okay, so
I just
Councillor,
want this because this business has been in there for 35 years. They're upstanding citizens. They know how to run a business. So I think we should work with them as much as we possibly can. She phoned me today and asked for the support letter. So,
but we can't do it until she has
It's
consultation.
it's up to council. I was told, you guys can direct us to issue one. However, I was told specifically in no uncertain terms by the province, without specific evidence of community consultation for this applicant, those items will not be approved.
and when you talked to her the other day, did you tell her that?
We can try it. So yes, I mentioned that to the to the owners of or to Michelle. Or,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, well then,
Should we maybe make a motion to go ahead with the consultation then?
Yeah,
And
as
get
soon
this
as
on-
possible.
Get this moving?
Your guys already did.
I'll make the motion.
You already did that.
Oh,
Really? The mayor
The
did.
mayor
Yeah.
did, and Barb second, for admitting to conduct a
So we have to vote.
consultation.
We have to vote.
All in,
all in favor?
Okay.
Do you guys see anything else? What's this? In UNDC, that's the opening up of the trade center?
no, this is an invitation to go to UNDC and Bridgeville.
When is it?
On the invitation.
I read this already, but I forgot.
That's for donor appreciation evening, right?
Yeah, October 18th at Prince George campus.
That would be for you, your worship.
No birds.
Thursday, September 27th. Or not, October.
Anything else? Resolutions, none. Bylaws, 11.1. Recommendation?
Recommend the council give fourth reading and adopt bylaw number 1015-2018. Council procedure bylaw amendment.
All second.
Any discussion? All in favor? 11.2 recommendation?
The council gives first reading to tax exemption bylaw number 1016, 2018.
Can I get a seconder?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
The council gives second reading to tax exemption bylaw number 1016, 2018.
Can I get a seconder?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Recommend the council give third reading to tax exemption bylaw number 1016-2018.
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Administration reports. Christopher, you're on the floor.
Very good. So last week we were advised that we had some water in the basement or crawl space of the old library. Turned out to be the pump that, or the sump pump that had failed. So thanks to Pastor Lagat for bringing that to our attention. Blair's advised us that all the hydrants have been flushed for the winter here, so they're ready to go for the cold. All the speed bumps have come up, which is just in time from the looks of it. We're thinking there's going to be some snow according to the weather here this weekend. The fleet is mostly ready for snow clearing. Blair's just got a couple more vehicles to change out the snow tires on because they're stud ones, so he's waiting so that we don't beat up the streets with the stud tires. Worked with Abbey Law here last week on some paperwork for the land donation that's going to be forthcoming on October 17th. I did receive the formal letter from the church organization there, so they're intended to donate that land to council, to the village. Worked on an impact statement for that vehicle incident and fire down at Coos Park, submitted that to the RCMP. I understand they're going to be bringing that to the court here for possible restitution.
Crown
to the
Council.
village.
But bring it to town council.
Started shopping for some new GIC rates here for some of our investments. We had a 6-month certificate come due a little over a week ago. It's sitting in a high interest savings account. It's looking like there's some attractive GIC rates out there right now. They're starting to come up a little bit. So I'm just taking a look at that amount plus what we have from our property tax receipts to position some more investment dollars. Read the animal control report for August. Sorry, let me just get that info back here. Where did that go? So, Les reported that we had 3 loose dogs that all were captured. One call for a missing cat, one call to pick up a dead cat, one call to remove a bat from someone's house, which I think is a first. And then Les also wants to share his thanks again with council. He's been able to confirm that there's no dogs in the village right now that are stuck on chains 24/7.
Oh, awesome job.
Yeah. I actually saw on Facebook, it looks like that's now become provincial legislation as well. There was an article about chaining animals outside in the cold, and it's now a felony, I think.
Yeah, no, that was Pennsylvania. No, that was in Pennsylvania, Chris.
Oh, was it? Okay.
But it's still, they shouldn't leave your dog outside.
Yeah,
It has no fur.
we're ahead of the curve. We've got language that prevents that kind of animal cruelty, so that's a good thing. Worked with Sandy for the check presentation to Dawson Creek Secondary School. Worked on the skate park groundbreaking. Thanked everyone for attending. That was really good. We got some great pictures out of it too. On the skate park theme, the mayor and I have a presentation on Friday to the Dawson Creek Co-op, and this is at their request, and it's further to our grant application for $100,000 for the skate park. So hopefully we can convince them to write us a big check.
We won't get the whole 100,000, Chris. There's other groups involved.
Oh yeah.
We'll probably get $500.
I guess I better put together a good PowerPoint then. Attended a mass communication meeting at the PRRD there last week as well. That's on the Everbridge system, so the telephone, email, and text emergency notification system. Lots of work has been done behind the scenes by the PRRD on that. They've asked us for a little bit of information, so I just have to get back to them with who's going to be our authorized users and that type of thing. They are looking at doing a test of the system in November, so pretty quick here. Also attended a trail meeting last week with reps from City of Dawson Creek and the PRRD as well. So we toured the 3 possible trail options that were highlighted in the trail study. One of them would have been really, really nice had it not gone right next to all the sewage lagoons in Dawson Creek. So if it wasn't for the offensive odor, it would be pretty trail. We basically narrowed it down to option number 2, which sort of goes up the 211, the 206 road up through the Ducks Unlimited Marsh and then up to the water tower. But that option was sort of put on the table before CN kind of shared that they're in the process of actively decommissioning the line from Poos to Grand Prairie. So we're going to have another discussion and see if it makes sense to kind of wait to see if that happens or if we should charge forward with what the old plan was. It may take several years for CN to fully decommission that and make it available to us. If we even get it, we're pretty much last on the list of who gets to use that rail line once it goes up. So Yeah.
I think we should just start the trails, and then if we do get the rail line, well, we can use that too. The
I
more.
would actually agree with that, your worship. The line, the route we drove, you know, as the back way there, was actually quite nice. It would make for a really nice trail.
Mhm.
So, and that was something we discussed actually on the thing too. That, well, you know, if we build this one and we can just add one later on with the rail line, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe that's the course of action council will want to follow. We've been told that from the trail specialist or the person doing the study that these can get pretty expensive pretty quick. So if that's the desired route, then the negotiations will have to start between the village, Area D, and City of Dawson Creek.
I'll put a motion on the floor that you can go ahead and do that.
Yeah, okay.
Everybody all in favor?
Second.
And all in favor? What's the motion? Then Chris, go ahead with
Trails.
the trails. That
Yeah,
trail.
okay. Awesome, thanks, Chris. And then last but not least, you all know that I broke my toe on Sunday there with a rather heated disagreement with my motorcycle, so I just wanted to thank council for allowing me to work at home for the last couple of days here.
Sure, you were laying on the couch. Phone, when I phoned you, the phone only rang rang more than once.
What a way to get time off.
I can get used to this, you know?
Well, I'm sure you could.
I can't.
That's it for me, guys.
Okay. Where am I here? Okay, so then we got the capital special projects. Anybody see anything? So those culverts are getting done, Chris, right?
Culverts are being done as we speak. We got a little bit of additional ditching that's happening near Councillor Smith's neck of the woods there in sort of center town. We're actually doing that by way of hydrovac. We were gonna do some, excavator style ditching there, but when we had the line locate done, it turns out that the darn gas main is right in the center of the ditch. Yeah, so to get that done, what Blair's, and it's actually, kudos to Blair for coming up with this solution. He's asking the hydrovac company to sort of hydrovac a 6 to 8 inch deep trench in the center, so give us some additional water flow without the possibility of doing any damage to the gas line. So really good.
Okay, so this capital projects, it says closed off Highway 2 and 50th Street, $10,000 complete, barriers are in place. Yet you drive behind Papa Don's and I don't see any parking signs, I don't see nothing. And did we not ask him to do that at the last council meeting?
We shared that we'd be willing to assist them with putting some signs there, yeah.
So maybe you could address that to him when you're back to work?
Yeah. And just to let you know, too, your worship, the Q3 financial report is going to be coming for the next council meeting, the October 17th.
Okay.
Included in that is a capital and special project list cost breakdown to date. I can share with you that of all the projects we've completed here so far, virtually every one of them's under budget as well.
Of course they are.
Nice.
Okay, so did you guys see anything on here? When do we have the meeting with the West Police again?
I spoke to Katrin today on that, and we're looking at having she shared with me some of the results from the consultation piece over at Goose Park grand opening. Not tons of response, some minor tweaks. She wanted to know what we wanted to do with the plan overall. And my suggestion to her was to note down that those changes had come in, but to bring it in front of council. So the plan is to have it in front of council for, it's not really adoption, endorsement was the word she used, on the November 7th meeting. So I'm going to work with her over the next couple of weeks to get that done. That'll actually mean West Booth's plan will be complete on November 7th if council endorses the plan then.
Okay. That's good, so the action items? And it still doesn't say anything about the child Care BC News Space Fund announcement. We were to find out more about that on the, Chris.
Sorry, which one, your worship? I'll give them, you know.
Child Care BC News Space Fund announcement. Remember I gave you that card?
Oh, yes, and we'd spoken about that. I think the first step in that process is to go out to a community engagement survey type of thing. I have a funny feeling that once we start going down that path and looking at the daycares, the first question everyone's really going to ask is, you know, what's the intended usership in the community and what's the demand? So if council's okay with that, that would be good for our information too. I mean, I know there's been a lot of discussion, you know, at the council level about supporting a daycare in town. Really, unfortunately, at this stage, we don't know if there's a ton of interest for it. So if we could get, you know, get some community consultation, get some firm numbers back, at least in writing from members of the community, yeah, for sure, if it was a daycare, I'd use it, here's my kids' ages, I need it for these hours, then we could start making our plans around that. And at the end of the day, if we don't get any, then it may turn out that the demand isn't there for something.
Okay. And Ray's gonna put a motion
Can I
on.
put a motion on the floor that we will do a consultation to see if there is demand and need for it?
I'll second.
All in favor? Okay. So there's no action, so councilors' calendars, it says here I'm away.
Yes,
What's that for?
you're supposed to be going to the Northern BC Tourism Summit in Prince George on the 11th and 12th.
Okay.
They told me the PRD
So-
was arranging it.
Oh, maybe there.
So then you can't be at the trades building kind of thing, I think.
That's why I sent you the question the other day, and your answer was something, and I don't know what
I
it
don't
meant,
remember
something about Barb doing the summit.
Yeah, Barb, I thought Barb was doing.
No,
I'm doing. Because it was a tourism thing.
yeah, but I brought it to you a couple weeks ago, and you said that the PRD was arranging this, so I just,
Yeah, no, I'm not.
You're not going?
I don't remember that one.
okay. So then you guys are just going to the NLC Trades Gala, I'll see you there.
Okay, and we're also, me and Chris are doing the chamber workshop
And so am I.
and see it.
Well, maybe.
Could I add the 6th and 7th for the 3rd and 4th day for the tourism that I did in Tumbler Ridge yesterday? Day 2 is today, it's a 4-day.
Oh, the
workshop.
training thing?
Yeah,
What was it called again? I'll just put Barb training.
yeah, tourism. BC,
Right.
Can anybody go to that Northern Lights College trades thing?
That anyone can go as long as they respond for the gala because they need numbers.
Not the gala, just the tour.
You mean the groundbreaking or the
The
opening? I think, yeah, anyone can go, but we have to register them.
Can you register one? Because she wants to go. Because her son's going in there next year. My wife, can you register her, please?
She can go register, she just has to go to NLC / anyone can register.
But I
I can do it if you want.
I'll remember. Okay. Anything else?
Everyone remember that next Wednesday is advanced voting
Okay.
and the office will be closed.
You know, I'll need to remind you.
Huh?
You'll know I'll need to remind you.
So next week's the advanced close, and we're closing the office because all of the employees will be working the election over there.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want me running the office.
Keep down to the phone like Chris does.
Hello?
Are you listening?
He's probably sleeping.
Chris?
Sorry, yeah?
Are you sleeping over there?
No, as soon as more than one person's talking, I can't make anything else.
Ah, okay.
Okay, Councillor Evans' report, she's not here, so Councillor Johnstone.
What have I done? I attended the skate park groundbreaking, our check for the South Beach School.
T. Harlan?
Yeah, I touched base with Les, he will be at our next meeting just to give us an update. And I attended our function last night, and that's all I have to report.
And you went to the tea harvest.
And the harvest tea, I did go to the harvest tea. I did, actually.
Counselor Smith.
I attended the Harvest Tea, I attended the check presentation to South Peace Athletic Association. I attended the groundbreaking for the skateboard park, and yesterday I went to Tumbler Ridge for the tourism workshop. I didn't go today, things piled up, and I plan on going day 3 and 4 in November.
And that's it?
Yep.
Okay. Andre.
On the 20th of September, I went to the Southfield Secondary School meet and greet. September 21st, Norton Trails, Heritage Society, Fort St. John Museum. This was paid by the PRD for me. September 22nd, Puss Cooping Museum, Harvest Tea Bake Sale. September 26th, Village Office to present a $10,000 check to Southfield Secondary School. Josh Curiata is the principal. 5 o'clock, September 27th, PRD in Fort St. John. So Claire Negrin did a report that our CEO had given to her, or to me, and I passed it on to Claire because that's the way it was supposed to be done. And I'll mention that so that everybody in council knows, the agriculture is wide open as far as the LR basically said anybody can grow if they do all the rules and regulations and what they have to do. So it's wide open as far as agriculture is concerned. It's just the industrial and commercial that this was reflecting to on that bylaw that they were trying to do. So it wasn't clear. They apologized to me because it wasn't clear to a lot of people. And they really appreciate his report because it kind of opened it up. So, and now there's going to be another hearing on October 11th in Dawson Creek in regards to the cannabis. So for more people to speak up if they want to. And that's what the end result was. So basically they just put it, they referred it to the next hearing. So it wasn't, and then what was on the agenda was then referred to for the October 11th meeting also. Okay, September 28th, groundbreaking ceremony for the new skate park. October 1st, Puss Cooping Food Bank meeting at 4 o'clock. 2nd, of course, the All Candidates meeting. And tomorrow I'll be attending the special PRD meeting to do with caribou recovery, and also we have a serious thing with the old fort. There's a big landslide in the old fort that people are being evacuated, and it's a big deal, and so they
They're
call it
talking about
special.
even getting the bus.
Special meeting, and it's at K-Pac, your worship. Okay.
It's at
That's-
1 o'clock, isn't it?
Huh? At 1 o'clock. That's my report.
Sandy, do you want to mark that down?
What was that?
Tomorrow at 1, or Thursday at 1.
Yeah, I think there's 40
That is
houses
tomorrow.
down in there that are, was there 50?
Tomorrow's Thursday.
Yeah, tomorrow.
And that meeting's in Dawson?
It's at K-Pac in Dawson, yes.
Okay, so me, I went to the forum last night, I did the skateboard park opening, and I went to a trails meeting, and the trail that Chris was talking about, I said that that would be a good one, and no, we would not be using the lagoon one. Check presentation to South Peace Athletics Association, and I did the Harvest Tea. And I have to say, you guys did very, very well last night. I'm very proud of you guys.
Thank you.
So, there is no in-camera meeting. There is no Rising report.
I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Done.
There.
Good night, Greg.